Okay, here we are. So I have these stories pulled up, as you see. This is one of the things that we have to get over ourselves when it comes to this stuff. The left is constantly framing morality that they do not plan on following, morality that they utilize to entrap their political enemies, to entrap you, to enslave you, to move you into a corner that you cannot fight your way out of. They utilize language and moral indignation to do these things to you. They will never stop doing these things to you. And this is like the most clear story has come out over the last 2 days that prove this. This is not a call to hypocrisy on the left. There is no hypocrisy on the left. They put the rules in place to entrap you, to encase, to act as barriers upon your activity, your access to power, your ability to move forward. You have to quit playing in the morality of the left. If somebody that you know says a naughty word, do not demean this person. Do not slam this person. Many times these things are said as jokes. There are many times that words are used as jokes. And in context, in a joking, sarcastic manner, they are going to be used. And you can see this right here on the screen. Politico, leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist chat. Politico, meanest people I have ever met. Chat leak resurfaces. Gas them. How a leaked pro-Nazi young Republican group chat on WikiLeaks, on Wikipedia. I'm sorry, Wikipedia. It's such an important topic that Wikipedia pulls it up. These people are framing this story in such a way to make you demean these young men that were making these jokes. It doesn't matter what the jokes were. I don't care what the jokes were. And just to be clear, this is going to be a short episode. I just wanted to cover this one point of view and be done with it. It's too beautiful outside for me to be sitting in here recording. I'm looking outside. I'm like, man, I wish I was outside right now. But I'm not. I'm in here recording. The Guardian. This is so vile. Young Republicans face backlash. Forbes. Young Republicans group chat. 5 members out of jobs. PBS. Young Republicans hateful group chat sparks bipartisan blah, blah, blah. Probably condemnation. I don't know. I'm not clicking on any of these stories. I don't care to read any of these stories. It does not matter to me. When I heard the story come out, I was like, why are we playing to the morality of the left? I don't care about their morals. I don't care if some 20-year-old kid told a fucking joke. I don't care. Y'all have heard the things I've said on my podcast. Imagine the things I said 20 years ago when there was no podcast, when I wasn't being recorded. And that's how these kids look at text messages and group chats, as if they're sitting around a campfire with their buddies drinking beer and talking shit. The only people that should be condemned in this story are the people leaking the chats. Do not condemn the young Republicans. Condemn the person who leaked the chats. That's who did wrong because they betrayed their friends. That's who's in the wrong here. The person that betrayed their friends' trust and leaked their private group messages. I'm in groups, I'm in group chats. I don't go around leaking them. I don't go around throwing them around so people lose their jobs. Sometimes I'm not even paying attention to what's being said in there. Am I going to be considered guilty of something somebody says if these chats get leaked just because I'm in the group chat? I'm not going to condemn these kids. I don't care. I don't care what they said. They didn't shoot Charlie Kirk. One side of the political aisle is perpetuating political violence. The other side is making insensitive jokes. I don't give a fuck about their jokes. I don't care. It does not matter. There is no reason that we should fall in line and say, oh, these damn young Republicans. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody, including the left. The left doesn't care. The left is just using it as a bludgeon to gain power. They are just trying to weaken the right. They have a guy running for attorney general of Virginia that was wishing death upon his Republican opponent. They don't care. They have not asked him to step down. These kids aren't even in positions of power. It's the fact that they were young right wingers that may aspire to positions of power. So they cut them off at the knees before they have a chance. But they don't condemn the violence against Charlie Kirk. They don't condemn the threats against Tim Pool or Megyn Kelly or Glenn Beck. They don't condemn these things. They don't care. That is, those rules are put in place for the right to follow, not for the left to follow. And I will prove it. Trump picked to lead watchdog agency withdrawals after texts. So what did he say? He said something along the lines that Martin Luther King Jr. Day should not be a national holiday. Juneteenth should not be a national holiday. There should be no black national anthem, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I agree with him. I don't think holidays should be based upon race. I think that's stupid. If you're only basing the holiday for Martin Luther King Jr. or Juneteenth or a black national anthem, if these things are only put into place because of race, that's retarded. That's stupid. That there should be no such thing. Race should not come into play when determining if there's a national holiday for a specific person. Period. End of sentence. I don't care. I don't care what color you are. All I care are your ideas good or bad? Do they promote liberty for my children moving forward? That's all I give a shit about. I don't fucking care what color you are. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're fucking Jewish. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Islamic. I don't care. It does not matter to me. It never has mattered to me. I've never had the privilege of letting it matter to me. It's not something I think about. I just don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't think about Israel on a daily basis. I could give a shit less what Israel's doing. I don't think about it. It's not my country. It has nothing to do with my life. It does not affect me in any way, shape, or form. We should quit giving money to Israel because that money is the taxpayers' money and it should be given back to the taxpayers. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I see it. And there's nothing anti Semitic about it. It's not because they're Jewish. I think that for every fucking country. Don't give money to Ukraine. Don't give money to Gaza. Don't give money to anyone. That is not the government's money. That is the taxpayers' money. And the taxpayer has the right to choose where their money goes. Period. He also said, I have kind of a Nazi streak. And he was making a joke. And then somebody leaked the messages. Again, do not betray your friend's trust and leak text messages. That is wrong and should be condemned. Totally, unequivocally condemn people that leak text messages. Period. End of sentence. I don't care. He's making a joke. Maybe it didn't hit. Okay, I've made jokes that didn't hit. Shit, I've seen comedians bomb on stage, but they're comedians. They made jokes that didn't hit. They shouldn't be fired. You work out the joke. You figure out a better way to tell it. That's the way it goes. That's how jokes work. Sometimes you tell the joke and it doesn't hit right. Okay. Who cares? I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. I don't care about this guy. Now we have Graham Plattner, a Democrat running for Senate in Maine, who has what they're calling a Nazi tattoo. Again, I don't know what this tattoo is, but apparently it traces back to the SS and to the forces that were committing the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. And if he has that tattoo, then all right, don't elect him, Maine. It's up to y'all. But the same people that will come out and try to get the young Republicans fired, have Trump's nominee pull out of the nomination process, are defending this guy. The worst of which is Crystal Ball, who threw an absolute fit about Pete Hegseth's tattoo, his Christian tattoo on his chest, calling it a Nazi tattoo when it's actually just a Christian tattoo. And now she's saying, for me personally, I'll take the candidate with a regrettable tattoo over one who has steadfastly supported genocide. Who supported genocide? Well, the Nazis supported genocide. If you want to call what was going on in Gaza a genocide, well, I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. I think what was going on in Gaza was terrible for innocent people, and I don't want innocent people to die. I've already said I don't think it's right when Israel bombs children any more than I think it's right when America bombs wedding procedures overseas. So, okay, like whatever. But she was demanding that Hegseth be labeled a Nazi for a Christian tattoo. Why? Because it's not about being consistent, it's about power. She does not give a shit about consistency. These rules are not in place for her side. These rules are in place to entrap the right, to encage the right, to keep the right in a box so the right cannot gain power and beat the left because they cannot defeat the right in the ideas category. Their ideas do not stand up to criticism. So they must utilize power to beat you over the head, to bludgeon you, to stop you from speaking, to stop you from running in elections. They have called every Republican candidate since World War II a Nazi and a fascist. George Bush, George W. Bush, all of them. Mitt Romney, remember? Yeah, binders full of women. He was a bigot and a misogynist and a Nazi. That's all you heard. And they're doing the same thing with Donald Trump. They're doing the same thing with JD Vance, Marco Rubio, with the entire administration. Anyone to the right of Bernie Sanders is considered a Nazi or a fascist. This guy that has this Nazi tattoo is a communist. So they're okay with him because communism did nothing wrong. There weren't hundreds of millions of people that were killed by communists in the 20th century. They were more bloodthirsty, more violent than any other ideology in the 20th century, were the communists. But because he's on the left, they will defend him. They do not, they are not being hypocritical. The goal is not to be consistent. The goal is to maintain in power. And as soon as you realize, stop calling them hypocrites. They are not being hypocrites. This is their ideology. Their ideology is not based upon morals. The moral framing is put in place to keep you in a corner. It is not there because they think that's how society should run. The rules do not apply to them. The only thing they care about is power. And if they can't get power, then they will do everything they can to cripple you. So whenever The left is out there saying ICE is the Gestapo, or Israel is committing a genocide, or such and such is a proxy of Israel. I just shrug my shoulders. I don't care. It's not my business. I don't care about that. Does this make my children's lives freer? That's all I give a shit about. All I fucking care about anymore. I do not care what the left says. I will not listen to the left. They have no moral upstanding in my purview. I don't care what they say. It does not matter. And it shouldn't matter to you. So, as I said, I don't have a lot else to say. That was all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get that off my chest. This is a super short episode, like 20 minutes or so, but that's all I really wanted to talk about. Quit giving these people power. They do not have the moral agency over you. Their moral framing is not about the morality of society. It is not about a righteous society. It is about creating a vacuum of power in which they are the one party that constitutes power and wields it over you. That's it. That's all it's about. That's all they care about. They do not care about anything else. And until you are clear eyed enough to see that and recognize that that's what they are doing, they are going to continue to bludgeon you over the head with moral speak in order to get you to fall in line and give them power over you. Y'all have a good one.